Hey everyone, in this last new stitch video of 2019, I'm going to show you how to knit the Baby Fern stitch. This is a stitch that I would put at an advanced beginner level, and it provides a fabric that's really pretty to look at. It lays flat, fairly flat, and I have a swatch here that I'd knit up with this fingering weight yarn. I'd used this pattern and this yarn to make a prayer shawl. And I had a little bit of yarn left, so I thought I'll make a swatch to show you what it looks like with a thinner yarn, as well as this camisole that I'd knit up with a worsted weight type yarn. And this is 100% wool, and you can see it's it looks pretty nice, I think, on a worsted weight yarn as well as on a fingering weight yarn. Now I've provided the details of the stitch itself in the description field below. It's a repeat of 6 rows, and it's really not that difficult. So let me show you how it's done. Now the pattern itself needs to be worked on a multiple of 12 stitches plus 3. So what I've done here is I've cast on 27 stitches. So that's a multiple of 12. So 12 times 2, 24 plus 3. And of the 6 rows, the first, the third, and the 5th rows are all just regular purl. So I've already started the first row, which is purl, and I just have a few more stitches left, so I'm going to go ahead and finish those. And this is just a regular run-of-the-mill purl stitch. And that's the end of row 1. And then you turn your work to do row 2. Now I'm using double pointed needles just for the demonstration, as my regular viewers know. It's just easier for me to work them under the camera here. Now row 2, row 4 and row 6 are what I like to call the pattern rows, because those are the rows where you're going to be doing the little lacy things that provide that beautiful pattern. Alright, so row 2, you start off with just a purl 1, knit 1, and purl 1. And then starts the pattern repeat that you'll keep doing to the end of the row. Okay, the pattern is repeated over 12 stitches. So I'll have a couple pattern repeats here, and we'll see that. We'll see how that goes. So the pattern repeat is knit 2 together. So you're going to knit the next 2 stitches together, insert your needle in the front loops of both stitches, knit them together, and then toss both stitches off. If you want a slower demonstration of this, I have provided a link to that specific video in the description field. Alright, so knit 2 together, then it's just a K2, which means knit 2 stitches, just regular knit. Then you do a yarn over, which means you're going to bring the yarn to the front. Then it's a knit 1. Now when you bring that yarn to the front, you're actually now going to create a stitch, which is good. We want that to happen. Then we do a yarn over again, which means we're going to create another stitch. And then we do a knit 2. And then we do an SKP. And what that means is slip 1 stitch, knit 1 stitch, then pass the slip stitch over. So you're going to take your right needle, insert it into the first stitch on the left needle, and just bring it over, and that's called slipping it purlwise, without doing anything to it. Then you knit the next stitch, and then you take your left needle, insert it into that stitch that we just slipped. So it'll be the second stitch from the top on that right needle, and you're going to pass it over, and that's an SKP. And you'll notice that it decreases a stitch, and the decrease is left leaning. Okay, and then it's a purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. So purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, and that's the pattern repeat. Let's see that one more time. We knit 2 together, knit 1, knit 2, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, knit 2, and then SKP. So slip, knit, pass the slip stitch over. And I have a slower demonstration of that in the a video on that as well, so I provided that in the description field. And then purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. And that is the end of row 2. So row 2 is actually your right side. So you start on your first row of purl 1 is the wrong side, row 2 you're facing the right side. Alright, row 3 is just a purl 1. So we'll go ahead and do that. And I'll speed up through this, but before I do that, just want to show you one little thing to watch for when you're purling all these stitches. Remember those yarn overs that we did when we increase those stitches, when you get to that point, you'll notice that the stitch kind of hangs loose like that. If you've never done yarn overs before and are new to them, you'll notice this, and sometimes it's easy for the stitch to drop off if you're not careful. So if that happens, don't panic, just pick the stitch back up and purl it. So just something to watch for when you're doing this purl row, but otherwise you can switch off a little bit, relax your fingers, and just purl through this row. So I'm going to go ahead and purl to the end. All right, I'm at the end of row 3. Now row 4, we start off the same way, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, and then starts the pattern repeat. So it's a knit 2 together, then the next stitch is just a K1 or a knit 1, so you just knit 1 stitch, then yarn over. Now we knit 3 stitches, so knit 1, knit 2, knit 3, then we do a yarn over and we knit 1, and then we do our escapee. So slip, knit, pass the slip stitch over, and you'll notice here that those escapees are lining up, and you want that. Once you see them lining up like that, then you know you've done it right, because the escapees will line up in every row that you do. Okay, and then it's a purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. So purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. That is the 12 row repeat for this row 4. We'll see that one more time. Knit 2 together, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, 2, 3, yarn over, knit 1, S, K, and P, and then purl 1, knit 1, and purl 1. And row 5 is our friendly purl row again, so I will purl all the way across. And that's the end of row 5. And now we come to the last row in the stitch, and that is row 6. We start off again with a purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, and now starts the pattern repeat. Knit 2 together, and then, oh, let me do that one more time, split the yarn there, and then you do a yarn over. So after knit 2 together in this 6th row, you're just doing a regular yarn over, you're not doing another knit stitch, and then you're knitting 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we do a yarn over, and now we do the escapee. It might seem a little weird to do the escapee right after this yarn over, but it's the right way the pattern works. And the only thing to watch for is when you're slipping that stitch over, make sure you're picking up the 2nd stitch from the needle, not this yarned over 3rd stitch. Okay, so pass the slip stitch over, and then purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. And we'll see that repeat one more time. Knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 5, yarn over, and oh, sorry, see, I almost went to knit there, but yarn over and an escapee. So slip, knit, pass the slip stitch over. And again, you can check to see if your escapees are lining up, and as I said, they're the left leaning decreases. Every time you do a knit 2 together, it gives you a right leaning decrease, and you can see that here, the decreases are leaning this way, and escapees, it's a left leaning decrease. So my escapees are lining up, so I haven't messed up. And then I have 3 stitches left, which is correct, because then the last part of the repeat, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. And that's it. Those are the 6 rows, easy rows, I want to say, for this fern, baby fern pattern. Now just a couple more points that I want to make about this this pattern to watch for. Ideally, when you're working with the pattern, I would recommend finishing the 6 rows and then stopping your work, but that's not always possible. You know, life happens. And so what happens if you were to leave your work and come back to it? So if if you're facing this side and your next row you have to work on this side, then you know it's a purl row that you have to do. But let's say you do that purl row and you're at this point, you're not sure what to do next. Now, with each row, row 2, row 4, row 6 that we do, what I call the pattern rows, we're forming these holes. It's the yarn overs that are forming these holes. And so with row 2, you're forming these bottom level holes. That's why we do a yarn over, knit 1 yarn over. With row 4, it's this next level row holes. So you're doing a yarn over, knit 3 yarn over. And then the last one, row 6, you're doing a knit 2 together, a yarn over, and then you're knitting 5 stitches, right? So that's how we're getting this little bit of a triangle shape here with these fern leaves, as I want to call them, on either side. And so, for instance, with this swatch here, this sample, I already have the first 2 rows, which means I must have done, or first 2 holes, so which means I must have done row 2 already. Then I would have done a row 3 of purl, and now I'm ready to start my next row, and that tells me that it's row 4 that I have to start with. So if you don't use a row counter, or you don't write down where you left off and you're stuck and you come back, then that's one way to know where you've stopped. As always with lace stitches, I would highly recommend putting proactive lifelines, and if you're not sure what that is, I've provided a link in the description field below for my video on adding proactive lifelines. It's simple enough to do, and especially if you're knitting a project like a shawl or an afghan, something big with lots of stitches, always helps to put in those lifelines every now and then once you've knit up a good chunk of your work. One last point, if you do want to make a prayer shawl, you know, I don't have the pattern, the exact pattern that I'd used for it. All I'd done was I put a little border at the bottom, a garter stitch border, and then garter stitch on either side. So if you do want to make something like that, I would suggest making sure that you have a multiple of 12 stitches plus 3, and then add on the stitches for the border. Let's say you want 10 stitches on either side, or 7 stitches on either side to form a border, then add on those additional 7 plus 7 after you have your 12 plus 3 for the middle. And you can start off with a first few rows of just garter stitch or whatever border you want to do, and then you can start your pattern. Just remember to do those first 7 or 10 or whatever stitches you want. You can add a stitch marker even on either side, and then do the middle rows in this baby fern pattern. Now there's lots of different fern leaf type patterns. There's also a regular fern pattern that'll give sort of a much bigger fern leaf, and the edge will be a lot more scalloped than this one, and perhaps I'll cover that in another video. But for now, I hope you give this one a try. As always, thank you so much for watching my videos, for supporting my channel, for all your comments. I love reading them, so please keep them coming. If you like the video, do click the like button. I love to see those likes, and definitely subscribe if you haven't. I do hope to post a lot more videos in 2020, and hope to make my videos a little bit better in terms of quality and editing and everything. So thank you for your patience and sticking with me through this year, and I wish everybody a very, very happy new year. And as always, thanks for watching, and happy knitting!